Hi, um, my name's Ian Osborne, and I'm the team leader, the course team leader of the Sociology course here at Long Road College, and one of the teachers on the A-level Sociology. Now, in the absence of a open evening where you could come and ask lots of questions, meet us, etc., we're going to have to do this little presentation where I'm going to tell you about the course to try and sort of give you an insight into what it's like studying sociology at Long Road. Firstly, I should say that we're a big department. Sixth form colleges tend to be have big sociology departments, and we've got 6 teachers who are all experienced, knowledgeable, and passionate subject specialists. That's not one of us, by the way. What else can I say about that? Well, first of all, I think we need to get on to talk about what sociology is. It's a brand new subject for quite a lot of you, most of you, in fact. So we need to have some idea about what is the subject matter of sociology. Well, put simply, it's the study of society and human behaviour. The sociologists are interested to find out how society influences our behaviour, but also how we might influence society as well. And we can see that playing out in the Black Lives Matter protests and how that movement is affecting change in society at the moment. Now, am I going to enjoy sociology? That's a good question. Now, all A levels are hard. They're a big step up from GCSE. And so therefore, we think the most important thing is enjoying your subject, enjoying your A-level. Now, we think that the people that are most are going to get the most out of sociology and who are most suited to sociology are those who have questions about the world in which they're living. You know, so they'll be asking questions like, what's happening? What's going on? Why is it happening? What are the consequences of this? And what can we do to make things better? Now, studying sociology gives us the tools to look at the world in completely new ways. And it makes us notice things that we never saw before. So it really does change us. It's a very enlightening subject, and also it's a very empowering subject. And it gives us the confidence to see that things don't necessarily have to be like they are. They're very different across the world in different cultures, and therefore we can affect progressive change. Now, it's made up of a number of different topics, including the sociology of education, families and households, beliefs in society, crime and deviance. We'll look at research methods, and we'll look at sociological theories as well. So if I go into a little bit of detail about each of those, first of all, the sociology of education. Now that focuses on issues to do with things like the role of the education system. Who does it benefit? So if we look at the perspective of Marxist sociologists, for example, they would see the education system as benefiting the dominant ruling classes in society and creating workers who are docile and obedient. Others are more positive and see it as a meritocracy, allowing talent to show through, and therefore we get the best people in the most important jobs. A little picture in the corner there of a little typical diverse class. Statistically speaking, some of those kids are much more likely to do well than others, according to their class, their gender, and their ethnic group. But we know that girls tend to do better than boys. We know that certain ethnic groups do better than others. And we know that middle class and upper class children do better than working class kids. Now, there are reasons for that. There are reasons for those differences that are not biological, they are social. And sociologists are looking at the reasons for those differences. These could be outside factors, material deprivation, cultural factors, or they could be inside school factors like teacher expectations and labelling. We're going to look at all those theories, debate and assess them. The sociology of families and households is an area that looks at relationships between couples and in families? Are they changing? Is the family becoming more symmetrical, or is it still a patriarchal, male-dominated institution? What's the dark side of the family? Domestic violence is still rife. During this lockdown, we know from reports from charities looking after victims of domestic violence that it's gone up dramatically. We'll look at childhood. What's the nature of modern childhood? And how does it differ across the world? We'll look at things like demography, births, deaths, migration, and the impact that has on society. Crime and deviance. This area looks at differences in offending between different groups, ethnicity, gender, class, and victimhood as well. We'll look at a variety of explanations for crime and different types of crime and the impact of things like globalization on crime. Beliefs in society is essentially the sociology of religion. Which groups in society are more attracted to religion? Who's more likely to be religious and why? What explains the emergence of cults and sects in society? Why has religious fundamentalism and extremism been growing all across the world? Really interesting area to look at. The next thing that we look at is research methods. Research methods are integral to sociology. Sociology is a rigorous academic discipline, and sociological explanations of behaviour stand or fall on the evidence. And this evidence is provided by rigorous research methods. So we'll look at a variety of these, ranging through questionnaires, interviews, participant observation, etc. And we'll look at the various strengths and weaknesses, whether they be theoretical strengths, ethical weaknesses, and practical strengths and weaknesses. We also study theory as an essential part of the course. Sociological theory is embedded throughout the course, and each theory has a different way of looking at society. And therefore, because they look at society in different ways, they see different things, they emphasize different things. Now, you're going to leave with a thorough and critical understanding of many of these theories. The New Right, postmodernism, Marxism, feminism, for example. Okay, so that's a little bit on what we cover. And obviously, that's just a small amount of what we cover. This is the structure of the course. The course is split into 3 papers, paper 1, paper 2, and paper 3. They're all 2 hours long, but they differ in terms of the subjects that they examine, the topics that they examine, and the sort of questions that are asked. So these questions range from 4 and 6 mark short questions, which are really about knowledge and understanding, through to more analytical and evaluative 10, 20, and 30 mark questions. So the demands are that you have to write quite a lot. A 30 mark question will take you about 45 minutes to write. So you're required to really go in depth into your explanations and into your evaluations. The board, the exam board is the AQA, and you can get a lot of information on their website if you want. Now, during the course of your time at Long Road, you're going to go on trips, you're going to experience workshops and listen to outside speakers. In the past, we visited the cities of Liverpool and Manchester, stayed at the university in Liverpool. We've been to conferences on offending in London, run by the New Bridge, who works with prisoners. We have been to local cinema to watch film screenings of sociological films, sometimes with a discussion afterwards by the director, etc. And we've had speakers coming in from Anglia Ruskin University and Lincoln as well, and we're hopefully organising people to come in from Cambridge Sociology Department as well. So there's a lot of extracurricular stuff that we're able to do in sociology as well. Now, where does sociology take you? Well, as we've seen, sociology provides an excellent foundation for a number of careers. Because sociology is about people and society, its scope is enormous, and the skills and understanding it gives us are useful for almost any job, I would say. But here are a few: administration, business, welfare services, education, journalism, public relations, the police, criminal justice system generally, and research. The sort of research skills that you get in sociology are very, very useful for a variety of jobs that you'll come across. What do our students go on to do? Well, many of them go to university. So if I look at the statistics from last year, we've had students going to Birmingham, York, Essex, Sheffield, Kent, University of East Anglia, Sussex, Queen Mary, to name but a few. And the subjects that they study at those universities include, obviously, sociology. Quite a few go on to do sociology, but also psychology, global health, paramedic science, nursing, midwifery, law, drama, politics, American studies, fashion, educational studies, history, English, criminology, creative writing, events management, whole range of diverse courses. I'll just go back. Others go on to apprenticeships. So increasingly, I'm hearing that people are getting onto graduate apprenticeships through doing sociology, which are really, really good courses to get onto. And then others go straight into employment.
Hi, my name is Emma and I'm a Year 12 Sociology student at Longroad. I chose to take Sociology as an A-level because I was really interested in looking deeper into the structure and formations of our society and finding out what goes on within those systems, like where the corruption lies, and gather different perspectives on those problems. Right now, it has really helped me gain an understanding of how some people will be more negatively affected by our current situation of the coronavirus. For example, a family living in a flat in the middle of London will struggle more in these times than a family who is living in a 3-bedroom house in the middle of the countryside. I think my favourite part so far about sociology is seeing not just what the education system does explicitly, but the behind the scenes things that you don't ever really think about or look for unless you know that it's there. I've also enjoyed gaining more knowledge on how different families operate and the tiny biases within our own homes that may favour a more patriarchal view, even if we don't even notice it. The sociology teachers are really helpful, and even now, when it's definitely tougher working from home, they are still providing support to make sure we can all do the best that we can in these times and understand the work that we've been set.
As a Year 1 Sociology student at Longroad, I chose to study the subject as it gives me a real interesting in-depth understanding of the social patterns and behaviour that we see every day in society. It opens up my ideas of what we consider normal and the things that we do see every single day that we actually don't understand or question at all. It covers a range of different themes in topics such as education, family and crime, so some are a little more closer to home, which made me question some people close to me on their views, but also challenge sometimes my teachers' or peers' opinions and views on things, which allowed me to understand in a more in-depth way. It makes you raise questions, like I said, but also give a general understanding and actual ability to explain why these things happen and not just viewing them in society. It allows us to understand and explain why they happen to other people. The subject can be tricky at times, but it's very interesting and is delivered in a fair and unbiased way most of the time, but allows you to ask questions on the things that you don't necessarily know or understand in why they occur, as well as in the family and in school life. It's a very interesting subject and is definitely worth all the hard work, as I think it is beneficial for society and for your future.
So, we look forward to meeting you next year. Hopefully, when all this lockdown ends, we'll be able to meet you, and we're looking forward to it. In the meantime, I'm going to leave you with a few of our current Longroad sociology students who are going to tell you about their experiences of the course. So take care. I hope to see you soon.